Let's get to the war in Iran. President Trump has told Fox that Xi Jinping offered to help negotiate an end to the war. Okay. Has that got anything to do with the rise in oil prices this morning?
He offered, but he hasn't helped, at least not yet. And the market's focus is back on the deadlock in the Strait of Hormuz. 13 vessels crossed since Wednesday. Oil is at 103 a barrel. But President Trump says she agrees that the straits should be neither militarized nor tolled. Watch.
We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. I mean, they closed it, then we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended because it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, the U.S. naval blockade is blocking Iran from moving its oil. At its main oil hub, which is Kharg Island, it is filled to 85% capacity. On Tuesday, it was 82%. Normal is considered 80%. Look at the green in this map here. That means those tanks on Kharg are full, and Iran could be shutting in production soon. Meanwhile, the UAE is turning on production. It says it will open the West-East pipeline next year to connect oil fields in Abu Dhabi to Fujairah on the Gulf of Oman. That is outside the Strait of Hormuz. The UAE ditched OPEC, and now they are accelerating infrastructure to make their neighbor Iran irrelevant. President Trump also said Iran could be losing some business from its most profitable partner, China. He says China wants to buy oil from the United States of America, although no deal has been cut.
So far, all right. Thanks, Lauren. President Trump revealed this morning that he did not ask Xi for any favors on Iran. Watch.
Did President Xi make any firm commitment to put pressure on the Iranians to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
I'm not asking for any favors. Because when you ask for favors, you have to do favors in return. We don't need favors. Ask him to put pressure because I don't need favors. I think he will. I think automatically he'd like to see it opened up. He gets about 40% of his energy or his oil from that, from the strait. We get none.
Michael Pillsbury is a China expert. He joins me now. Michael, welcome back. The president told Fox that Xi would help in any way he can with Iran. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do. Within certain limits. What President Trump is doing is going back to the tradition of Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan to try to use a realistic sort of framework to deal with the Chinese and seek cooperation when possible, being aware that they've got a history of lying, cheating, and stealing. So what I've seen in the last, what Fox is doing that's just wonderful, and you are too right now, Stuart, showing clips of the president's own words. It's really dangerous to let commentators from the outside sort of interpret or spin what the president's been saying. And on Iran, he's been very specific that they share the view. He said we, when they're sitting side by side, they share the view that Iran should never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. That's a really big deal. It's in the president's own words with Xi Jinping sitting there. So overall, this summit can be seen in one of two different ways. Either we closely follow what the president himself is saying by playing video clips, or we listen to these commentators who are running things down, or frankly, there were some leaks last week there'd be 500 airliners sold. Then there's only 200. So Boeing stock goes down. This is irresponsible leaks in advance, Stuart. There was another leak that there'd be $1 trillion of Chinese investment. Hasn't happened. Okay, market goes down. So we've got to be very careful to look only at the video clips of what President Trump is saying in order to understand what really happened. That's my message.
Michael, I want to go back to the warning that Xi delivered to Trump about Taiwan. That warning seemed pretty harsh to me. Was it for domestic consumption? Has our Taiwan policy changed at all?
Again, if you pay attention to exactly what President Trump said, he said, I heard out President Xi's story about the history of Taiwan, why it's so sensitive to them. And then he added in an interview on the way back, I'm not going to go 9,500 miles to defend a country that declares independence. That's a whole new policy from all the comments that, oh, we have to defend Taiwan, including nuclear weapons if we have to. It's all gone away with the president's own words. So I think there's 4 or 5 other things that he's changed. It's a whole new narrative, a whole new China policy that's come out of this trip. But the commentators are distorting what the president actually is saying.
Okay, we'll not listen to that distortion. We'll have you on instead. Michael Pillsbury, come back soon. Thanks for joining us, Michael. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Don't trust any China expert.
Okay, if you insist. All right, next.